So US dollar tether's been pretty strong. It's Fish the Beach Bum Investor here with your cryptocurrency report and discussion for the 17th of January 2018. Flash crash overnight. I don't often use the word crash. I think that when you're getting 30 and 40% retracements among major coins, it actually becomes warranted. What I will ask that everyone keeps in mind during this time of a correction, major correction, is to take into account the longer term view. Now, for myself, I've been investing in crypto for about 8 months now. And when I started out, the market cap was around 75 billion, roughly. So I have seen retracements of this magnitude before. One that comes into mind specifically was back before Bitcoin Cash. There was a lot of uncertainty about forking. No one really knew what to expect, and there was a major correction from 125 billion back down to 75 billion. Similar sorts of percentages to what we've seen recently. The good thing is, just in the last hour, as people are getting prepared for Fish to come back on and stream live, the market has started to recover somewhat. Now, there's going to be a lot of confidence shaken out with a big retracement like this. So I wouldn't expect it to go all bullish all of a sudden. Having said that, it's nice to see it finding some strong recovery in the last hour or two. Just going to pop over to live chat and see who's in for the convo. Did I even post up in Discord? I didn't. Naughty. All right, posted up in Discord over for the live chat. Let's see who we've got in. Baby Junkie, Ryan Sellers. It's the 2018 Great Crypto Depression, says Ryan Sellers. He did put laugh out loud after that. So, this is a good example of why you only ever invest what you can afford to lose, or at least, not even at least, what you can afford to lose. But you should be prepared to sit on any investment for quite some time, and this is good. Good example of that. Grinker said, "Happy bloody Tuesday, Fish." Yeah, mate, it's a bit red in the old market, isn't it? Look, you can see these times as crisis or opportunity. It does look like there was, strengthening of those rumors that we read out yesterday morning on the show. And I did suggest that the market could retrace further on the back of that, because it would only just be hitting the rest of the world markets. In Australia, if it happens overnight in Australia, sort of we wake up to it, then the rest of the world's going to wake up to it. As the rest of the world wakes up, the news can get compounded. So that's what looks like what's happened in the last 24 hours. There are strong rumors out of China and Korea and Japan about potential exchange regulation or potential exchange shutdowns even. There was a talk that Korea, Japan, South Korea, that being Japan and China, were going to look to take a united stance on cryptocurrency. That's one of the things I read. Exactly what stance that will be, it didn't actually say in the article. So it's interesting. There's plenty of information out there, and a lot of it is opinions and not necessarily facts. So you got to be careful about what you're reading. Chikai is in for 5150 time. Now that I know what that means. Yes, it is a crazy day. Call it the 5150 day in crypto. Bobeck, Zeman's in. Rudy Adam. Agent Smith said, KMD squad, Monet's roadmap to be released this week. Agent Smith, thank you for keeping on top of that. That's awesome. Yeah, dude, I actually put some more buy orders in KMD. I hadn't even heard that, but I put some more buy orders in on KMD with these lows. So that was nice for me. I've hit a couple of really cheap buys, what I feel like are cheap buys in this correction. So yeah. Jordan Handmaker said, what are your top 3 coins for long term? That's a really good question, man. For the long term, let's have a think. I like PIVX because it's my savings account and it's residual income. It's a really tough question at the moment. There's a lot of good, it's the whale. Should we put him on speaker? Hang on, we'll answer that question in a second. Welky, I'm on stream.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, you're on stream now as well.
Oh, g'day, guys. How are we? Lovely bleeding day.
Yeah, lovely bleeding day, exactly. I was speaking to Sab this morning. She said you were going to make some reckless moves with a substantial amount of money, so we're going to talk after the show.
All right. Well, I'll call you later, man. I'm just driving.
All right, cool, man. I'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, bros.
Right. So that's the big whale. He was looking at jamming in on these lows. We're gonna talk about it afterwards. Warlord's in. Yeah, my top three. I like PIVX. I like at the moment. It's really difficult, but in the DApp platforms, I like Ethereum, Neo, and Icon. Can I have three in that category? The reason being is I think Neo's got a lot of applications being released on it this year, which should see its price increase. We've already seen a lot of it, but I think there'll be more to come with Neo. Ethereum, I think once scalability's improved, which is, there are things currently being worked on, and I'm sure there will be future developments as well. I think Ethereum's, it's got a lot of value built onto its network already. So I think Ethereum's a good long-term hold. Icon, because of its connections in Korea. And I actually think that even if it gets really heavily regulated, that might favor Icon in Korea because of the stringent KYC process they went through during their ICO. We'll see what happens. What else do I like? See, at the moment, Jordan Handmaker, I'm looking at real world use cases as well. So I like the exchanges at the prices at the moment because I don't think the exchanges are going to go anywhere. They can shut them down in China and that might affect the volume temporarily, but I think the overall flood of money coming into the economy will more than make up for China, Korea, and Korea combined if it does happen to go the way of the dodo in those countries. And I don't think it will anyway. I think there could be temporary times of that and times of regulation and questions from governments and financial institutions on what do we do and how do we get some sort of control over this. But I don't think it's ever going to be completely shut down. I don't really think it can be. It's a distributed ledger. There's no one central point of pressure that governments can apply pressure to get the network shut down. It's across the globe. They would have to shut down the internet, essentially. So I don't see it ever collapsing completely. Countries can choose to pull out like that, but you also hear countries going the other way. And I know it's not a huge economy or anything, but I've read anecdotal evidence that Estonia are looking to become big in cryptocurrency. And not only that, a country that does have a lot of money and a lot of wealth, like in the Middle East, in Dubai, the Arab Emirates, they're looking pretty heavily into blockchain for real estate and all sorts of things. So yeah, I guess at the moment during this correction that the main things I'm looking at is like real world value. So even your RFID projects, guys, if you're into Wabi, Walton Coin, or VeChain, it might be time to have a look because I can't see those brilliant technologies that offer so much to industry going anywhere. They're not going to go anywhere. Blockchain's going to stay in one way or another. Now, I've often said it can be rejected as a currency because of a lot of pressure and a lot of power where the money currently sits, but it is not going to be rejected by industry. No way. So yeah, I think look for those real world, those real world money makers. So exchanges make money. That's what they do. They charge a trade fee. They've already got a business model that has a revenue stream. So if you go and have a look at the trade volumes on the exchanges, the funny thing is the coins have dropped dramatically in price, even though the volumes have increased. Yes, the volumes have increased because of huge volatility and a lot of people also cashing out. But the volume's still there on the exchange, and one would assume it's going to continue. Whether it's diluted as more exchanges come in, that's another factor you've got to take into account. But to me, the exchange coins at the moment, KuCoin shares, Binance Coin, they drop down to really good value overnight because the volume's still there. So they've got their revenue stream. Yeah, it's going to be affected if crypto gets banned, but I still think that I just think it's a good, like, if you've got good exchange coins, like I find Binance and KuCoin to be really good exchanges, and I think they'll do well long term. And if you've got those coins, I think long term you're going to see a good return on your income, a good return on your hold. More so on KuCoin shares than Binance because KuCoin shares offers a percentage of the trade fees back to KuCoin shares holders. But if Binance continues to be up there in the top 5 exchanges in the crypto economy, people will be buying up Binance coins to reduce their trade fees, making them more valuable. So yeah, that's a real good question, Jordan. It's tough at this time. There's a lot of good value in the economy, I think. This happens every year, seems to have a correlation with the Chinese New Year. I've posted a good article in Discord. I am early Ethercept because I got a lot to do today, man. You got those Dragon Chain yet? Don't stuff around with me either. It's a lot of money, but I transferred that to you yesterday, bro. So I'm assuming you got that. Pablo said just a little speed bump. Medi, nice, bro. Medi98 comes in and goes, Konnichiwa. That's not Chinese, by the way. After my stuff up yesterday. Yes, Konnichiwa, Medi. Jen Owens in. CJ Bacon. Seb. Eka Mouse. Raiden development looking good on GitHub. Nice to hear. Eka Mouse. It sort of came out of nowhere, Raiden. For me, I think it was sort of getting overhyped, as was, IOTA and Tangle technology at times, and as is Hashgraph at times, because the reality is that we've still got a lot of testing to do on these networks before we decide whether they're actually going to live up to what they're being touted as, blockchain killers. So yeah, I'm glad to hear that you're keeping an eye on the rate and development. That's a really good idea, guys. Like Ecomouse has come in with with actual information. So it's not just, I think the price is going to go here and I think the price is going to go there. And as you guys know, I thought Raiden was perhaps a little bit overbought, but it's great that there's still development going on and it's looking good according to Ecomouse. So that's one of the things you need to do if you want to be successful in the investment game, is keep an eye on the development that's coming out from that community. And it will help you understand how proactive they're being in actually developing and also working towards mass adoption. Great bit of information. Thanks, Ecomouse. CJ Bacon's asked for a link for Raiden. Yeah, Raiden's getting a lot of interest. So it's got potential to be very impressive technology, but as always, I'd like to see a little bit of testing. Jen Owen said it's the best way to spend the last hour of work. Well, don't get in trouble watching Fish and the Crypto Wave Investment Crew. Oh, yes. Crypto Chronicles has some pictures for me. I assume this is a tattoo that may or may not include the PIVX symbol and may or may not cost Fish 20 PIVX. I made a bet with Chronicus, so that's going to be cool to see, man. I can't wait to see it. Floyd said this is just China stocking up, so when the West has bought back up, they can start selling it off again till they're out. The more FUD, drop the price, and so on. You got it, Jordan. It's just an opinion, man. You got to make your own decisions, but I think there's good value in the economy. It had to come back, guys. It was getting overheated. We almost needed something like this just to get our heads screwed back on. You know what I mean? I'll read you the description I've got in the video because it's a bit cheeky, but this is kind of how I felt about it. The way that everyone was predicting higher and higher price points is, I said Bitcoin crashed, and it's a word that I don't often use, but with the retracements we saw overnight, it is warranted. Bitcoin crashed to an overnight low of $10,000. It would have been. It would seem we have quite a way to go to hit the $1 million BTC price predicted by McAfee. Better get the sauce ready, John. I hear 70-year-old man penis is not real tasty. But that's what I'm saying. We just got to keep our heads screwed on and be a bit more realistic. And I hope some of you did do what I advised and took profit along the way during the last big bull run. It is important. It's an important process, not just for your bank account and for your overall portfolio, to actually be responsible and take some profits when you've made good profits. It's good for the psychology of investing because you've just become a winning investor. And the more often you can do that, the more often you're going to do it. Trust me on that. It's a really important process. So please, next time we get a bull run, which we will, just be responsible about taking a little bit of profit along the way, guys. I mean, I should have taken more yesterday or the day before whenever I did it, in all honesty. But, I paid some bills, got some stuff done while the market was quite nice and high. And, that allows me to put some money back in on the lows if I want to. So it's a really good idea to take some profit. Kane Thomas says, aloha from Hawaii. Jealous, jealous, jealous. I've never been to the home of surfing. That's a big bucket list item for me, getting over to Hawaii for sure. Rachel Plant said, I think decentralized exchanges are going to start becoming more popular. I don't disagree. I think they'll become more popular, but the reason I think there's still a need for the centralized exchanges is financial institutions are going to demand centralized exchanges with regulation, and B, they've got a big head start. So they've worked out a lot of the kinks and the bugs that the decentralized exchanges are still going to have to go through. So yeah, I think it's going to be a space where decentralized and centralized coexist for some time. But yes, I do think there will be more decentralized exchange availability through 2018, and I do think they'll gain in popularity. Seb said, Ven just won't drop, laugh out loud, but at least I stocked up on some Dragon Chain. Yeah, Dragon Chain got real cheap. Oh, well, what I see to be good buying this morning. SB said, I made the mistake of putting my money, very small amount, in CB. So I'm sitting on my hands until the recovery is worth moving exchanges. Yeah. I found fish a day too late. It's all good. We'll get you back on top of things, SB. It's a long-term strategy in the crypto wave investment crew, so we don't worry too much about these hiccups. You know, that's a funny thing. It seemed like the world was falling apart because it was early in my crypto days when we saw that market crash from 125 billion down to 75 billion. That's a lot of the market cap, guys, when you're talking about percentages. And it felt like it was all over, and now that just seems funny. Looking back at that and go, oh, we all got scared over a forking, Bitcoin Cash forking. Everyone got panicked and, oh no, what's going to happen? Is replay attacks going to happen? And no one knew what to expect. So yeah, the market reacted with great uncertainty and great fear. And we're certainly seeing that again at the moment. But I think long term, we're going to look back at this point in time and go, well, remember that? Remember when China and Korea and Japan, the news was looking a little sketchy and it all just plummeted. And then 6 months later, we'd tripled that. I wouldn't be surprised to see a market cap of over $1 trillion in 6 months. 1.5 trillion. I can see that happening in 6 months from now. So for me, it does. Ooh, Wilkie's just sent a message and said Kira is pumping. Guys, the surf isn't in on the Gold Coast, so I may cut this short. We haven't had really good swell like this in a while. It's like 6 foot out there. It's pumping. Anyway, back to crypto for at least a little longer. Yeah, Chronicus, you'll start to understand. I did that a lot early as well. Chronicus said that I'm not going to lie, I hodled through the all-time highs and didn't take much profit. I'm sure you're in the majority, man. I don't think many people. That's the thing. When there's that sort of hype around, and you start to hear people talking about, everyone's made money and everything's gone up by stupid amounts, and it honestly, the more people who talk about how it's just going to bull run forever, the more I actually start to take profit, because I realize that that's not true. And we've gotten to a point of being overhyped. Nothing moves in straight lines. Never. Ever, 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 ever. Nothing moves in straight lines. So, with Bitcoin, you would have felt silly selling out at 16 grand, right? 15 grand when it bull run all the way to 20. But you've had a chance to buy it back now 33% cheaper than the 15 grand you just sold it for. The swings in this market are huge. So, when it's clearly bull running and taking on big profits, and you're all sitting there cheering and thinking about how you're going to spend it on an island or a Lamborghini or whatever your dream is. Mine's a Tesla car, solar panels, so I don't have an impact, a footprint on the world. But everyone's got their own dreams, right? And when you're starting to, really look at that might be time to actually take some profit. I know that sounds funny, but people just get carried away in this economy. I've seen it time and time again. That's the other thing, guys. Every single person who's come in here and told me you will never get this coin cheaper is wrong. There you go. Everyone in the last, 2 weeks, 3 weeks who's come in and shilled the shit out of a coin to the point where they've said, get it now because it's never coming back. You're wrong. All right, so let's try and be a little bit more responsible about the way we shill a coin. Let's shill it on its technology, its community, its roadmap, its current stage of development, and yes, its potential going forward as well. But let's not shill it just based on the fact, oh, you'll never get it this cheap again, because honestly, unless you're on the inside of governments in Korea, China, Japan, America, Australia, and most of Europe, you can't possibly know what's going to happen. And no one's in that position, except for maybe if that Illuminati thing is true. But anyway, my point is just try and be responsible, guys, because there's going to be a lot of people who have bought in. Obviously, there was new money in the economy between December and January over the holiday period. So a lot of people are going to be considerably down from their original investment. Me, I'm 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't even know how many X. I'm a lot X from where I started this game. So I'm still fine, but there's going to be a lot of people hurting on this, saying, shit, I've done a third of my value and I put in too much because I was getting carried away and wanted to get rich overnight. So just be aware of that, and always be aware of that when you're speaking enthusiastically about a coin as well. You cannot possibly predict the future. Yeah, that's the way I do it, Chronicus. That's what I like to do as well, man. So Chronicus said, I'm just going to turn off Discord, guys. Sorry, got some beeping going over. He said, I'm leaning towards paying bills ahead when things are way up. That's exactly how I do it. We have a great service available to us in Australia called Living Room of Satoshi. Good service, guys. Paid my electricity bill with it 2 days ago, thank goodness. Because my electricity bill was a lot cheaper 2 days ago than it would be today if I'd paid it. But that's a good way I do it as well, man. I just put those bills aside, and when I get a good run up, bang, I'm just, we can bill pay. So you just type in the number, type in the thing, choose your currency, Bitcoin, Ether, PIVX, Litecoin. There's like 10, 12 different currencies. Steam, you can even blog and pay with that. Yeah, and then just pay a bill, because even that that is an act of taking profit, Chronicus. So even that is a good move, man, when you get those bull runs. Hawaii is blackballed from crypto exchanges. I didn't know that, Kane Thomas. Thanks for letting us know, man. Yeah, the governments and financial institutions putting the squeeze on. Guys, I'm well behind the chat, so I'm just going to go through really quickly. Ethercept, Fish, Tap, Scream. Haven't seen you on Discord. Can a poor blind man get some more dragons? Holds up cup. I sent you more, Ethercept. Oh, right. Oh, no, you want me to buy more? Yeah, man, I got you covered. I'll get on Discord today. For sure. I've got to go out after the stream, guys. I'll be out for a few hours, but then I'll be back on Discord catching up after that. So yes, Ethercept, I'm happy to do that for you. Side note, one of the professors I work with has been working on a new application. It is called BitDegree. Don't know much about it, but I figured I'd share it with all. Cool, Jen. We should get him on the show, or him or her on the show, to talk about it. Sounds cool. I think education on the blockchain is a great idea. Access to education is really important. I've seen the effects of that in Sri Lanka for people who do have access to education and people who don't. And there's a massive difference. So, yeah, I don't know whether that's sort of the path that it's taking, but I'd be willing to have a look at anything that was going to support greater education for the masses. Slice Keeper, same here, CC. Cryptocurrencies, never sure when to take profit at Fish to Beach Bum Investor. Do you mean take profits in BTC when there's a bull run, or US dollar tether, or cash out? Cash out, Slice Keeper. You do not realize profits until you've taken them into the fiat currency relevant to you. That is the reality. Until more stores, and like you can just go spend crypto at every single, like I can walk down to every store on Griffith Street in Coolangatta and spend my crypto without a crypto debit card off my phone. Until I can do that, you need to start taking profit back into the fiat economy every now and again, because it's the only way you realize your profit. If you haven't done that, you haven't realized shit. That's the truth. I've said that before. So have an exit strategy. I've said that as well, I talked about my exit strategy with Icon, with taking some profit off the table at 3, 7, and 10. Now I skipped the $7 mark because I reassessed, but I took profit at 3 and 10. Now I can go buy that Icon back at $6 or whatever it's sitting at this morning. Okay, the 3 was responsible. The 10 was nice. And, if you look at my dollar cost average on selling, it's about 650, which is where we're about now. So I can buy back at all, but I wouldn't. I've just banked the stuff I sold at $3 at a huge profit, 30x what I put into it, So Have an exit strategy, have a strategy to take some money out, have some points where you're going to be happy. And then when you hit those points, be happy. Taking 20% or 30% of your investment off the table, breaking even and having the rest running on a free roll is brilliant. Better yet, take it out and you've doubled your money and you've still got some going on a free roll. That's even better. SB said, got to get some PIVX. Yeah, PIVX dropped nicely down. I got some really good buys on it this morning. I don't want to say nicely down, but you got to understand, for me, like I've got a goal of accumulating a PIVX masternode. It's been a goal of mine ever since I started working there. And for me, it was starting to get further and further out of reach as it continued to go up. So for me, it's great. Not great, but it's an opportunity. Can I say that? It's an opportunity for me to get a little bit closer to that goal. Methyl Mister, why he cried? BTC pump over 50k. Seems Snapper as well looks good, bro. Oh man, I'm sure Snapper's sick, but it gets so busy there. And Kira's like, everyone got off Kira when it got crap for a long time because they took out the big groin and the sand sort of flooded in there and it just changed a lot. But it's coming back now, and on the big swells it works pretty good. Sorry, more surf talk. Would I advise to buy BTC right now? Joel Ashton, it's really, really hard for me to predict the short-term future. I think long-term you will see prices higher than what we're seeing right now. Let me have a quick look at the market because it has been super volatile, but it looks like it's popped back up to 11,000. So it looked like 10,000 acted as strong support. And I think that you've got to see BTC at least getting back to $15,000, $20,000 by the end of 2018. I think that's likely. So for me, it is likely, in my opinion, not a financial advisor, it's likely that I'll see a 30% return on my money on anything that I'm willing to put into BTC today, sometime in the next 6 to 12 months. And when you can make 30% in 6 to 12 months, you take it. So yeah, I think buying today is not a bad idea. Can it take further retracements? Absolutely. Could go down to 7.5, could go back to 5. I mean, my prediction for the end of 2017 was 5,500, and it is so far past that, it's not funny. So could I see it going all the way down to 7.5? I actually could. Just depends on, like, this market, this economy is so heavily emotion driven and also news driven and rumor driven more than news. So rumors are heavily traded on, more so than the news. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We've got to keep an eye on those Asian markets and see what's coming out. But I think long term it'd be fine buying today. Again, not a financial advisor. Please make your own own investment decisions and only invest what you can afford to 100% tear up and throw away. College fund for 3 boys, eek. I only have 7 years for the first one. SB, that's good. Like 7 years is 7 years is a good, you get to actually formulate a really nice long-term investment strategy, which is what we kind of specialize in. So I think that 7 years gives you a good amount of time to get a really nice, really nice financial plan going there. You got to base it around more than just crypto, though, SB. You got to have other investments, even if some of it's just taking bank interest. I mean, I don't particularly do that. I don't do that myself, but it's not a terrible idea. Will Korea Fish, do you think the bubble has popped? I think for starters, I don't necessarily think it was a bubble. It's hard to say that when we're saying such big retracements, I guess, but we're still in a really volatile stage of emerging technology. So no, my bottom line is no, I don't think the bubble's popped. I think we will see bigger all-time highs than 20 to 25,000 on BTC, and most of the solid alts won't have reached their all-time highs yet. I don't think, because I think we've still got a long way to go. We're still modifying and updating the technology, which we will for all time, but we're still modifying it to a point where it's actually usable in most currencies. That's been serious. From a layman's point of view, guys, I always say I'm your perfect test case because I'm a moron. There you go. Someone's going to clip that out. I am a moron, and if I can do it, that means that the majority of people should be able to do it as well. So I'm the perfect test case for crypto, and I'm telling you now, it's too hard. We've got to make it easier, and we're working on that. Of course we are. I took you through the roadmap for PIVX in 2018. It's all about like one click backups and one click this and one click that and all the things that our devs can do. I'm sure the other coins are in the same boat. I'm not saying PIVX is exclusive, the only people I'm working on ease of use. Of course, all the other currencies are as well, but it's not there yet. It's not there yet because I can only just use it and make use of it, but even a lot of people who haven't spent the time that I have to study it wouldn't have a chance. Hey, Fish, what's the next big ICO we can get into? Joel Ashton, I think this one will be good. I'll just pop it in the chat, man. I think this one will be good, but I haven't checked the valuation on it yet. I was saying yesterday, 45 mil, maybe even a little bit less, like 30 to 45. I realize that's a fairly broad range, but I'm trying to understand what. I don't want to give away what I've just given you the tip on. Yeah, look for the valuation on it though, Joel. Look for the valuation, man. If it comes out with a reasonable valuation, I think that'll be a good public sale to get into, man. The pre-sale's closed on that. It was only for strategic investors anyway, and I offered $200,000, and that wasn't seen as enough to be a strategic investor. So, yeah, you can have a look at that one at public sale. I think it's going to be I think it'll sell out regardless of what price they put on it, because that's just the way the economy works. But be one of the smarter ones, Joe. Go and do an evaluation on it and make sure they're asking a fair price. And if they're not, go and put your money elsewhere. You know, that's my advice. It'll probably it'll be that popular that it'll probably go up no matter what. But I'm not going to buy it over those valuations I just spoke to you about then. There. Seb Fox, I started dreaming about becoming a millionaire last week. Ha ha ha. I've just been brought back down to earth today. Yes, Seb. That's it, man. And it's those times when you've got to be responsible, because you've got to always think about this. All right. If you're in a position where your account's at all-time highs and you take out 10%, 20% of your overall holdings in crypto, and then the crypto market just moons and doubles, do you care? No. You've just made an excessive amount of money again on top of your all-time high account. So put yourself in a position where you're okay with whatever happens. So you've taken some profit. If there's a major dip, hey, maybe I can look to benefit from that as well. Rinse and repeat. But if you don't take profit off the table, you've never got money to jam back in, especially not significant amounts that you'd go, geez, I'm glad I took that out as profit and just had it sitting there. So yeah, be responsible with your investing, guys. I've said that like at least 50 times on this show. Take some profit along the way. For the record, I never said that about any coin, not even Verge. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I know, Ethercept. Never going to get it cheaper. You know, I knew what you were referring to, man. Yeah, that's it. You got to be like, you can say this has potential. There's like Ethercept told us the news to that down to a T. He even told us when there was there were two pump and dump groups that got a hold of the news and thought that they could pump it further off the back of McAfee's tweet. He told us flat out. He said, guys, just be aware of this. It's something you've got to factor in with what's happening at the moment. And he was the one who was really bullish on Verge down at 0.5 cent. So at least he was responsible with the way he did it. Because when it was 0.5 cent, he was saying, look, I really do think this is going to go because of this reason, this reason, this reason, this reason. It wasn't just you'll never get it this cheap again. I think that most of the people in our group are actually really, really responsible. So it's good. Pine Needle, what's up? It's Jason. Today has been a roller coaster, mate. That's understatement of the year. Old Coin M said, any thoughts on BitConnect? I think it's the future, isn't it? I'm joking. Please. No one take that seriously. Start disliking and tuning out right now. No, I find it hard to understand how so many people have put so much faith in a trading bot that's never been seen, because that's essentially what BitConnect is. That's why it exists. This trading bot can make 1-2% a day or whatever they're claiming, and no one's ever even seen it. One of the YouTubers put out like a bounty and said, if anyone can prove that this trading bot exists, I'll give you $1,000. No one can prove it. So yeah. Chronica said it's snowing in the desert. That's crazy. Bet Connect, yeah, it's not my thing. Joseph Garnier said, "How are you able to smile today, Fish?" Man, I got into the economy 8 months ago. You guys are all taking it relative to your all-time highs, aren't you? I'm taking it to what a friggin' mess I was in after being flooded. Almost losing my house because I'd overinvested into a lot of real-world projects, which, it's good now because I've still got those projects on the go. But I'd done well. I'd done very well, and I reinvested that money into a lot of projects that I knew would take 5 years to see any return, and I played it pretty close to the line. And then natural disaster hit. My house got flooded. I lost my rental income for 9 months after having all my money tied up. I nearly lost this house, and that was only a year ago. So how can I smile? Because I'm not in that situation. I've got more crypto at this stage than I could ever possibly have imagined, even after the dip. I've got myself back into a point of being financially secure. That's a nice feeling. So yeah, and I can even see days like today as an opportunity rather than being all stressed about it. So that's how I can smile. And I can smile because I don't have any more in than I can afford to lose. So yeah. Ripple could be a good buy under $1. Yeah, it could be, if you like that sort of thing. How long do you think it would take to recover to where we were? Oh, Timothy, I would say 6 months, man. With a shakeout like this, you're looking at 6 months recovery time. That's just an estimate based on last time that it ran down to 75 billion. It took some time to recover. Maybe not 6 months. We'll see how we go. But this is a big shakeout, and it's a lot more money, like a lot more actual dollars to come into the space to make it recover. Whereas the actual number of dollars needed when it was back to 75 billion and then needed to go back to 125 to get to where we were is $50 billion. And our economy is now trading that much in volume each day. But to actually get back to where we were now is $300 billion, which is a substantial amount of money, especially in an economy that's going to be really shaking in terms of the confidence. That's my best guess, man. Things can turn on a dime, though. You get some good news out, or you get some more bad news out, and might not recover at all. We could be in crypto winter, where it stays like this for a couple of years. You guys do know that happened, right? That this is not a new path for these sort of major retracements. As a matter of fact, in the worst part of crypto, when Bitcoin spiked to $1,000 and then dropped down to 100, the crypto economy lost 93% of its value. 93%, which means if you had $10,000 in, it's now worth what, 7% of that? So, oh no, it's taken out 90, $700. $700 from 10 grand. That's what your net worth would be. And everyone thinks it can't happen again. It absolutely can happen again, because what caused it last time? China closing down exchanges. It's history repeating a little bit, guys. So don't think it can't happen again. It absolutely can, and it can be a 2-year recovery. This is why I say don't put in more than you can afford to lose. Everyone expects to be driving Lambos by the end of the week. And by the way, why is that such a big ambition, to be driving Lambos? Well, I'm sorry, like I know some people like cars and that, but I'm just saying, why is I don't know. I don't understand possessions like that so much, being the thing that people are striving for. Timothy gone. Oh no, that was Timothy that asked that question. Sorry, Timothy. Rent your plants. I think last stream you thought I was making a price prediction for Nebulous, but I was saying it was blockchain 3.0, not $3. Cool, man. Thanks for clarifying that. Rent your plants. I do. It's, you guys are limited to 200 characters in the chat, and I just got to do the best I can with what you put in there. Sorry about the confusion there, Rent Your Plants, and thanks for fixing that up. Lacey, Tree Garden. Sweet, finally still awake for the live stream. Is there any info on a first Icon ICO and when? I'm sure there was, but I'd have to go and research it, Lacey. Maybe we might put that up in because our group does hold so much Icon. We might even start a channel for Icon ICOs, just to so we can keep a track of what's going out, because now ICOs have been super successful, and I think Icon holders will back icon ICOs, and I think Koreans will back ICOs based on the icon platform, provided they're allowed to. So yeah, that's a pretty good idea, actually. I might do that. Lacey Tree Garden, I don't know. That's great to finally have you on the live stream. Just if you want to join our Discord group as well, we'll probably start talking about that exact topic in the Discord group. So links in the description. Michael Smith, it's a long-term commitment to crypto. Follow the blockchain. Exactly, man. Hold on, it's a bumpy ride. Well said, Ruth. Yeah, it is too computer techy. That's it. We'll get there though, Ruth, because we've got people like me coming in as test cases, and I just go to the devs. Nah, too hard. I don't know what you mean. They go, Fish, you press the power button on the computer. I'm like, nah, make it easier. So yeah. All right, where's Grinkers? Said something. I'm way behind on chat, but Fish, give yourself credit. You may be a tech user moron, but you're a crypto economy genius. I don't know about that, man. Let's not overstate it. I didn't call a 40% correction overnight. So yeah, if the charts go red, Ruth's got good advice there. She said charts are going red. Just need to walk away for a bit, and that's the best thing you can do. I tell the story often of how when that big crash happened, what I can call a crash because it was such a heavy reduction in the overall market cap from 125 down to 75. I went and watched my niece play tennis. It was a brilliant weekend. She won, killed it. Little tennis protege. I went surfing, chilled out, came back, and like it had recovered quicker than I ever thought possible, and I'd actually made good money by the time the weekend was over. So I'm not saying this will recover that quickly. my smile is contagious. Oh, thanks, Ruth. Yeah, well, if everyone just takes a chill pill, we'll be all right. ER20 tokens to buy now after the dip, says Kyle Social. ERC20, I got you. It's just a typo. Flamez Kush is in. ERC20 tokens to buy. I always have trouble remembering which ones are actually based on Ethereum. Let's have a look. You know what? I watched an interview with the founder of QuantStamp. That's one I'm liking at the moment. QuantStamp. It's very, very clever. You know, auditing of digital contracts, increased security through third layer protocol. I think that's right, third layer protocol. I'm not a computing expert, but fortunately, the CEO and founder of QuantStamp is. And you know what else I loved? And I'd never seen this before in the project. They actually did something called proof of care, where they actually gave the highest rewards at ICO to people who had done the most work to show that they actually care about the crypto that they're investing in, not that they just want to make a quick dollar through the extra bonuses. So, you know, one guy mowed the QuantStamp symbol into his lawn, and I can't remember what else was done, but I just thought it was a really cool way of building community straight off the bat. And the dude's clearly a genius. He was an algorithmic trader and is retired, and he looks at least 5 years younger than me, probably more, maybe 10 years younger than me. So yeah, I think QuantStamp's, you know, this is a guy who made so much money in algorithmic trading that he didn't need to do anything anymore. And if he really needed the money, he'd just go back to algorithmic trading because he's clearly very good at it. But he did this because he saw a need in the economy. I mean, the Parity wallet's getting hacked from Ethereum recently, where $300 million went down the gurgler. I mean, QuantStamp was basically released at the same time, which was very beneficial for them, fortuitous. But it also just indicated how much of a need there is for something like QuantStamp in the economy. And to me, it looks like a very impressive young man who set up the company, and he really seemed to know what he was talking about. It's hard for me to understand when they start talking about algorithms and coding. It is hard for me to understand. I will openly admit to that. But you do tend to get an idea just by the way they're speaking. And this was on the Crypto Lark, by the way. He's another YouTuber who does give good information, guys. I've found his information to be good. So I know I give a few YouTubers a shout out, and I think Crypto Lark's one of them. So he's got a interview with the QuantStamp CEO and founder. If you're interested in the QuantStamp project, I'd recommend getting on and having a look at that. I think that's a pretty good ERC20 token during this dip. see what we got. Should I take my small loss on BTC and cash out or hodl? NZ Street Beats, you've got to make your own decisions, bro. But I mean, the same way you don't buy on highs, right? We don't buy at all-time highs. We know that. We don't buy at all-time highs. You don't cash out on monthly lows either, or 2-month lows almost. That's generally not a great idea, but as I've said, this bloodbath can get worse. Everyone thinks that it can't. It definitely can. I'll be hodling through. I've taken out what I'm going to take out, so I'll just be deciding whether I buy back in now, and I'll just wait for a little bit. Just see how the next 24 hours settles down. Joseph Garnier, the recovery is going to take a few months, but where the new money goes in, more important. I think we'll see the rise of the others over the next 6 months. Yeah, it's an interesting point, Joseph Garnier. Like suggesting that the alts will rise over Bitcoin over the next 6 months. It could happen. I'm not sure what I think money will come back into the economy because I think there's more than $500 billion worth of value in blockchain globally. To like the difference it can make to industry is way over $500 billion. So the market cap will surpass $500 billion. I have no doubt about that. Will it be the currencies we're seeing today or new versions? I can't tell you. Which ones will be successful? Which ones won't be? I can't tell you with any certainty. It's just by doing the research and really thinking about how it can be overlaid into the real world and whether that's something we need. That's how I do my assessments. Hourglass said, thoughts on deep brain chain. I haven't had a really thorough look into it. All I know is that it's artificial intelligence on the blockchain. It got a lot of hype early on. I think it's an important thing to have on blockchain, decentralized and democratic development of artificial intelligence. It's just dangerous to have it in the hands of a few. It really is. If it's going to be that impressive, it gives a lot of power to a few, which I'm not really into. Notio, morning Fisho. Had a huge morning watching Ripple this morning. Better than Life of Brian. Only thing was after that, had to do my washing after I saw my bag. Yeah, it's been pretty bloody. People who are experiencing the fruits of investing are doing that for the very first time. Crypto is so fast, they need to just be patient. Yeah, that's true. Give me a 4x4. Okay, the crash of early 2013 was caused by the Mt. Gox. Oh, that's true. Yeah, Joseph Garnier. Mt. Gox was a big part of it. Exchange nonsense. Crypto is too widespread these days to crash that hard, although you never know. Yeah, no, that's a very, very valid point. But it also did have to do with, or that might have been why China then looked to really shut down the exchanges back in those days. I can't remember the exact order of things, but my point is we have seen major corrections before, so to think it can't happen is short-sighted. Agent Smith said it's metaphorical, Lambo's fish. I'm getting a Ferrari personally. Can I know if I should sell my Binance coins? Vincent Evans bought at 22. I think Binance coins are actually one of the better holds in the economy at the moment. Binance coins, KuCoin shares, like the exchanges are generating revenue. We know that. They take a trade fee. We know they generate revenue. They have a revenue stream. They're a working business model, which a lot of these things aren't. So you've got, and Ethercept, don't slap me, but you've got things like Cardano and EOS, which EOS does have some development coming in June, but they're still not working products with like an actual revenue stream. Whereas Binance is, KuCoin shares is. There's several other actual cryptos that have revenue streams external to just speculation. So, and ICO funding and that sort of thing. So yeah, I actually think they're one of the better holds at the moment, man. You bought at 22. Yeah, it was a lofty buy, but I don't know. I think if you're going to get the sorts of volumes coming into the economy that most people are predicting, then there's going to be people wanting those Binance coins to reduce their trade fees. I can be wrong. Of course I can be wrong. Again, it's difficult for me because I bought Binance coins at $1.50 and $1.80. So it's difficult for me to get too concerned about the retracements we've seen. I've probably missed a whole bunch of chat. Ruth said you have to look for quality projects. I agree. Antagnio said boys and girls are it, because I'm paraphrasing because we've got ladies in the chat as well. Antagnio, boys, it's simple. CME came in and pumped and dumped mothers. I suggested that a while ago, man. That could be something that they could potentially look to do. Buy up the Bitcoin and play the shorts and clean up. I did a good bit of research on that today, and my opinion is it's not mature enough yet. DBC, deep brain chain. Okay, cool. Yeah, a lot of these things. That's a good point, SB. A lot of these things were being like they've got the potential to be valued at these valuations and higher, but it's potential. It wasn't being realistic about where they're at in the real world. I mean, would you like? I think that would be valuing deep brain chain was being valued at well above what OpenAI would be valued at. I would think OpenAI was started and backed by Elon Musk. Some brains working over there, so you've got to keep things relative to the real world. That's a joke, by the way. I would never put more than $100 into Shit Connect. Did you actually put money into Big Connect, Agent Smith? We're no longer friends. No, I'm joking. The Wall Street peeps have made a difference. Agreed. Leslie Treegarden. When BTC starts dropping hard, what is the best way to trade everything? Like sell ICX into BCC, sell BTC into USD to let it drop and go back into BTC icon. Still scared to do these trades. If you're scared to do them, Leslie, don't. Buy and hold. It's even experienced traders have been burnt in this market because of the volatility of it. So it's tried and tested that the best thing to do if you don't know what you're doing in trading is to buy and hold. Because every time you trade, you're getting a fee taken out, okay? And that's essentially that's why markets take away money. That's why 90% of traders lose. Only 10% are successful. So if you don't have the experience, the knowledge, and the time to learn to be one of those successful traders, you do your damage with research. You research, and then it's not about trading in and out in 5% ranges. It's about, okay, since I bought this, it's gone 2-3x. Now I'm going to look for, it seems a little bit high for this week because I've been keeping an eye on the prices. I'm going to take 10-20% off the table. So it doesn't have to be like, exact Satoshi exit strategies. You just should always be prepared to take some profit when you get those big run-ups. But if you're not a trader, leave it alone. Buy and hold. Pick your coins that you want to hold for the next 3 years. So I think this has got good potential over the next 3 years. I'm just going to continue working away my job, working on my long-term financial plan, and crypto's a high-risk, high-reward investment on the side. That I've never swayed from calling it high-risk, high-reward and saying that you shouldn't have all your investment capital in here. So I still say that, guys. It's not something I'm just saying. Like at least I'm not bullshitting about that. I might bullshit sometimes when I say, wait for the buy-in or whatever, and I'm there stacking in, and it goes lower, and I burn myself usually. But I try and be responsible with the advice I give, and I don't always follow advice responsibly myself. But I am sitting in a fairly valuable asset that I own. Bank owns half of it still, but there's a lot more equity in this house than I've got in crypto. That's for sure. At least 10 times as much. So you've got to keep things relative. Hourglass says, yeah, I feel what Fish is saying about DBC and Power being in the wrong hands, which could definitely happen. I think these companies are cooking up something, just don't know what. But Neo is going to be a powerhouse. Always can link it back to Neo, the ultimate Neo shiller. Upcoming decentralized exchange, NVST, coming this year, gives dividends too. That's cool, Ecomouse. Thanks for the extra info. I'll keep an eye out for that one. NVST. I'm really, really interested to see what happens with these decentralized exchanges. It's going to be cool. SB said DBC is Neo based. I'm watching Singularity now. Yeah, there are. I should have mentioned that there are competing, not only OpenAI in the non-blockchain world, but other blockchain projects looking at AI as well. Like I said, that's what I get. Really effing eerie. F Singularity anything. Don't really like that concept. Oh, it's going to go that way, mate. You better just prepare yourself for it. Also, remember, many more tokens represent an actual service and serve a utility. Back in the day, most are just currencies. Exactly, Ethercept. It's a big difference. That's a good point, actually, about the 93% retracement, because a lot of those currencies back in those days were currencies and nothing else. I mean, I've always said that even though my favorite coin in the economy is a currency in PIVX, that we are more under threat than coins offering additions to industry or improvements to industry. The financial sector doesn't want to be improved, and that's a battle we're going to have to face. I like choosing the hard battles. That's probably why I chose to be with PIVX as well. But yeah, they're not going to fight those battles where efficiency is increased and they can take more money. The governments and, the more money that companies make, the more money that they can tax. And it's all on blockchain, so they can tax it a lot easier. So yeah, I think those blockchains that are going to affect industry aren't going anywhere. So they might be your best buyers in times of uncertainty where the whole market's dumping, because it doesn't make sense. It does. I've said this before, and I hate saying, but it does make sense for things like PIVX, Bitcoin, Litecoin, anything just really in that currency race, Monero. But anything that's actually providing a real world use case in industry outside of the financial sector shouldn't be harmed by negativity in the currency space in the blockchain world, because they're different things. Ethercept makes a good point. Has anyone used OKX exchange? It is safe. Is it safe and stable to use? TNC, I haven't used it myself. I have heard of it. Ruth Slade said, what about Walton? Yeah, I like Walton. And again, real world use case, RFID technology. So Walton, VeChain, Wabi, they might be things you look at during these times of uncertainty. Have a look at Toke's platform with cannabis industry. Has good contracts and partnerships. We can, but I just don't understand why in an industry that's been legalized, why there's I don't understand how it's benefited from being on blockchain. Like, good contracts. I'll have a look at it, man. Just give me a chance to catch up to the things. What was that one called? Tokes. We've never checked out a pot coin on the show before, so we might as well. Sophia is creepy. She thinks she now has the right to have a family. I don't know who we're talking about. Now that she's a citizen of Saudi, I don't know who we're talking about there. Crypto Chronica said, I put $100 into BitConnects. I never got my free beads. I don't know what the beads are. They give away BitConnect beads, seriously. Anyone developing a multi-wallet with automatic atomic swaps and cross-chain transactions? Agent Smith, I couldn't answer that off the top of my head, man. There's certainly, there's Trigood Spellweaver said, excuse me, sir, when Lambo? Dick. All right. Anyone developing a multi-wallet with automatic atomic swaps and cross-chain transactions? Short answer, yes. Long answer, I can't really tell you which ones. I'd have to go back and research it. But multi-wallets is an emerging industry within the crypto economy. And I think we're going to see a lot of action in that space in 2018. If someone nails like a really, really user-friendly, good multi-wallet that allows staking of multiple coins at the same time as atomic swaps and transfers, it could be a big project for sure. No, Noddy. Let's hear this one. Thank you. Thank you, mate. I hadn't heard. I'd seen the big retracement in the price, and I was wondering what it was about. But obviously, I was heavily reading up on the entire market correction rather than specific coins this morning. So Noddy O's kept Fish in the loop and said, Fish, have you seen the FUD about KuCoin Exchange? News is it is actually said to be in Sichuan, China, not Hong Kong. Their address is Hong Kong, but it was said this morning to be in China. Maybe a checkup. Oh, definitely a checkup. Noddy O, the thing is, so they can move it, man. There would be nothing preventing them from moving that business because it's represented online. So they can move the headquarters somewhere else. It's not going to be perfect if all their administrative staff are in China, but it's not the end of the world. That's my personal opinion. It still seems like an overreaction for where the share price got to. Based on what I know, like I know what the trade volumes are, even if they are at the moment. I'll get my money back on residual income. So some people exercising issues getting withdrawals from KuCoin. Support telling them to wait a few days. After above comment may be of interest. Oh, well, that might explain Ethercept. Ethercept, I sent you a big transfer of KuCoin, man, yesterday. So I don't know if you've got the dragon that I sent you, dude. but that could be explaining it. It's all on chain anyway. We can check it. All right. The problem in the US is Gary DeMilo. The problem in the US is that it is legal in some states, but illegal on a federal level. So they can't use banks. Oh, okay, for the pot coin. All right. Well, we'll have a look at it then. We haven't had a look at one. What's it called? Toke coin. Might as well. I'm gonna pop over to screen share. We can have a look. Trying to find it. It's called Toke. It's not here on CoinMarketCap, is it? Toke. Basic attention token right in there. But I can't see it, guys. What was the name of the coin that you wanted to have a look at? Someone check that back in the chat. SB said, someone mentioned it earlier, but depending on if HR 4779 in the States passes, cannabis coins will likely have big gains. Greater privacy for medical people. Cool. Nodio said it'd be easy to hide an exchange in Szechuan. Millions of people, places to hide. Tokes is only on it's on Bittrex. Okay, why is it not on CoinMarketCap though? Oh, it is there. TKS. Got it. Coming over to screen share. Let's have a look at our coin for today. A pot coin. One that I've not really ever looked into any of the pot coins. Let's have a look. Okay, so we've got a $7 million market cap, $370,000 worth of weed being smoked in the last 24 hours. 24-hour trade volume. Circulating supply is 1.5 million tokes. God, you'd be high after 1.5 million tokes. And then 50 million being the total supply. There is a whole lot of inflation to come there, guys. A whole lot. How long does that occur over? That's going to be an important thing we're going to have a look at. Charts taken its Fibonacci retracement, as most of them will during this overall correction. Look for your Fibonacci sequence to indicate good buy times. I am joking. It's not science. It's not maths. But it does look like it's taken, reasonable retracements after what was strong growth patterns previous to that. Just going to the website now. Well, it looks like we're not going to the website because my computer's decided to be stopped. Nope. Here we go. Okay, Tokes platform. The Tokes platform provides blockchain solutions for the cannabis industry. What is the Tokes platform? The Tokes platform was founded to solve the legal cannabis industry's banking problem via cryptocurrency payments. However, we now provide several software solutions for both payment processing and supply chain management. Please see our white paper and platform page for more specific details on these services. Tokes, TKS, is the cryptocurrency used for payments on our platform, either business to business or consumer to business. What is cryptocurrency? I don't think we need to read that part. We all know what cryptocurrency is. Why use cryptocurrency? We know that. So I don't think we necessarily need that. How does a transaction work? Well, we know this. This is all just general crypto stuff by the look of it. Why does here we go. Why does cannabis need cryptocurrency? Due to the federal regulation environment, cannabis sales are only legal at the state level of government. Essentially, the only way to do business is in cash. This is a headache for dispensary operations. The Tokes platform provides a convenient and safe digital solution for both merchant and consumers. In the midst of this cash hurdle, the legal cannabis industry is compliance heavy, requiring cultivators and dispensaries to keep meticulous track of their businesses. Our supply chain solutions provide blockchain-based tracking and compliance from cultivation to analysis to out-the-door packaging. With blockchain technology, we can track and store information about genetic strains, testing data, and harvests. Okay, cool. This is sort of a question that I was asking. Tokes is bigger than providing a temporary solution or service. The success of Tokes is merely a stepping stone to our end goal. Education is the most critical aspect of user adoption and has been largely overlooked by other projects. We are operating in a technology advanced space, and although we understand the mechanics of cryptocurrency, it's not secret that 95% of the population does not, probably higher than 95%. We're undertaking huge efforts to educate and inform partners at the merchant level on how to adopt and implement our technology right into their dispensaries. We'll further these efforts by similarly teaching the consumer on how to use this technology. Cool. Cheap transactions, fast transactions. I need to, my main concern at the moment, let's see who's in the team. My main concern at the moment is that inflation rate. I got to understand how long that's taking place over. Because that's a lot of inflation to come from circulating supply to total supply. Michael Wagner, founder and CEO, through his innovative approaches, a deep network, and groundbreaking strides in tech solution, Michael is building a technological ecosystem in the legal cannabis industry, helping Tokes to thrive strategically in the marketplace. Michael has experience in some of the most successful campaigns for the Investment Council Company, United Capital, and Arista Wealth Management, having recently completed the Level 3 CFA exam. He is in the process of applying for the coveted CFA Charter designation. Cool. All right, Gabriel, all red. You go and look into the team, see what's going on. I don't know. It's not something that's super interesting to me, to be honest, but it's a huge industry. I mean, there's no doubt that the states that have legalized, what have I done here? The states that have legalized marijuana in the US have benefited greatly from the tax that's been collected from the sale of cannabis and marijuana. So it's a big industry. The weed industry is actually better situated for the total privacy anonymous coins. Yeah, I don't know, Michael Smith. Like, that's the thing. If it's like a legalized industry, I think it's probably more suited to the transparency of, an open blockchain that allows, like they were suggesting, the actual weed to be tracked from cultivator to dispensary to customer, so everything's kept in check. Ah, damn it! Is that right, Ethercept? Yeah, right, man. Okay, Ethercept's just checked his KuCoin account, guys. I sent Ethercept those KuCoins yesterday, and he hasn't received them yet. So they obviously are having trouble clearing money out of the account, which would very much mean that that would explain the price drop. There would be concerns about that for sure. Having said that, I have successfully withdrawn money from KuCoin before. So the hold up, I would imagine, is to do with volume. We know that crypto exchanges have struggled with volume in the past. Rudy Adam, which one's a useless coin? We've spoken about pretty much every coin in the economy. Are you speaking about Dragon Chain or which one? Oh, the pot coin that we were looking at. Ah, here we go, Tokes. Thanks, man. Tokes has no value because most of the population does not smoke. It's interesting though, Rudy Adam. You know, my brother works in the alcohol industry. He works for Lion Nathan in Australia, and they've done some studies recently based on the US's recent legalization of marijuana to see how that's affected the alcohol industry, and the numbers are astounding. The craft beer market in the States has suffered big time through the legalization of marijuana. So people in a legalized environment are choosing to smoke marijuana over drinking alcohol more and more. And further to that, they did a study in Australia, and they asked, I can't remember what the sample size was, but it was a decent study. And they asked people, would you be likely to try marijuana or try it, because most of these people hadn't tried it, but would you try marijuana if it was legalized? And 80% of people said yes, which means the only reason they haven't is because the government has told them that they're not allowed to. I don't want to get too heavy into this, but marijuana has much less negative impacts than alcohol. I don't say either are great, but if you just want to take the actual statistics, and the information that is available, alcohol is terrible for society in terms of lost productivity, in terms of domestic violence, in terms of violence in general, in terms of obesity, in terms of liver disease, in terms of the list goes on and on. Mental disorder, everyone talks about weed being a major issue. I think alcohol is 10x weed's issues in terms of societal impact. So there you go. There's Fisher's rant for the day, political. Yeah. Ethercept said it would be funny if they were all seized. Oh, hang on, not for me. Yeah, it was a considerable amount of Dragon Chain I sent you, Ethercept, so I certainly hope they're not being seized. You can still earn even if you don't smoke it. Yeah, yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, Ethercept. That's my point exactly. Ethercept said you never see people high on weed like fighting. Like if you go into Surfers Paradise or Broadbeach or Byron Bay or any of the party hotspots in Australia, I hate to say it, it's not a good advertisement for our country, but there's going to be fist fights. There is, simple as that. People are going to be punching on. And from my experience, that alcohol is the biggest impact on that. Apart from some of the like really, really hectic drugs, but alcohol is as widely accepted and as, you know, we cheer our Prime Minister on for sculling a beer and things like that. As widely as accepted and even promoted it is, I find it so hard to understand how weed is given such, or marijuana is given such a bad rap compared to alcohol. I used to work in nightclubs. I've seen it, guys. It's really, really bad. Anyway. Nodio said, the coin I tried to describe to you yesterday was World of Ether. D can buy more pets there. It uses loads of powering. Oh, man, why did you tell? If she watches this stream now, she's just going to be looking on World of Ether all the time. Thanks, Nodio. SB said, I was just typing that. I'm assuming you were agreeing to something I was talking about. State level weed legalization is great freedom of choice, but in federal level, the China-like FUD is Attorney Jeff Sessions. Scary dude. Thanks, Michael Smith. Marijuana coin, said Dry Good Spellweaver. Yeah, look, it's an interesting debate, guys. It is really interesting. I mean, this is where my lack of approval for governments comes from, is because decisions are made without the facts being considered. It's because we've always done it that way. Now, we're taught in business that they're the 6 most expensive words in business. We've always done it that way. And yet governments just keep doing it. So weed stocks are mooning like cryptos. Alfred, we've even started growing in Australia. Like we've had legalization come through for actual growers, not to be sold in Australia. Of course, we're not allowed to touch any of it, but to be exported. So Aussie weed hitting your shelves soon. Just not in Australia. There is a new Forex share in Australia, Can Group, legalized, been on for 5 months, first Australian license. Thanks, Nodio. That's probably what I was referring to, man. Yeah, for Hooch. Yeah, I got you, bro. Yeah, no, it's I saw a news report or read it. I can't remember whether I read an article or saw something on the news about it, about a growing license being issued. Okay, Jao said the drug laws was created in USA. Almost all the world copied that. Now USA is legalizing, so the rest of the world will follow. Oh, Jao. Australia literally just does whatever US does a lot of the time. Hey guys, we're gonna go invade Iraq. You guys in? Yeah, shit, yeah, we'll be in that. Hey guys, we're going to Afghanistan. You keen? Yeah, hell yeah. We don't make any decisions for ourselves. So yeah, I tend to agree, mate. But the problem is that Australia's quite slow to move on these sorts of things sometimes. I mean, we've only just had a referendum sorry, not even a referendum, a postal like pre-vote to see if we're okay with gay marriage. Only just now. It's 2018. That's all I'm going to say. Jao said, here is the most stupid law. You can smoke weed, but you can't grow it. Is that serious, Jao? In Portugal. Such a good law. Yes, you can smoke it, but no, you cannot grow it. Where are you going to get it from? That's so funny. Lacey, we were talking a bit about it, man. Lacey said the quick crypto wave investment crew should meet up in Amsterdam someday. You know, I was actually thinking Commune is a place down here, guys. It's got a sick bar outside, massive pool area, and there's probably 8 or 10 floors. And that is getting knocked down in about 6 months' time. And it is a Coolangatta institution. It is like the best. Okay, yeah, I'm probably a little bit old to be going there at 35 because it is more of a young person's place and all the backpackers hang out there and that sort of thing. But the Sunday session there is off the charts because it's during the day. It's hot. It's like 35, 40 degrees. Everyone around the pool. It's a lot of fun. And I was thinking, you know what we could do is hire out all of Commune, the nightclub, and all the rooms. And then anyone who wants to fly in can just fly in for the party. It'd be a bit of fun. Sure. It wouldn't be that expensive either. We could make it work. All right. Let's see what we're up to. I always wondered what those huge 5-pound bag of green herbs were my mum would lug home. Trichord spellweather. My old man told me when he was younger they had a bag of weed that was like a whole bin bag full of weed and they buried it and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, do you know how much that would be worth, Dad, today? Probably a $20 bag back those days. Except for guns, because Americans like guns. Yeah, they do like guns, 8%. No doubt about that. A guy I know put $1 million in Can Group as initial investor, paid 30 cents. Now they're $3.45. He's done okay. Yeah, it's nice returns. It's what, say 10, 11%, 11, 12%. That's nice on $1 million. Sorry, 11, 12x. That's nice on $1 million. Yeah, 10 mil. Nice quick gains. SB said, I love my guns, Ether. It gets the anger out at the range. Dry Good said, I'm pretty sure guns are racist. I don't think so. Oh, God. Flat Earth. Oh, my goodness. It's been a bit of it's an epidemic all over the world, actually, man. Flat Earth. I'll tell you a little story, dude. Flat Earth's made a reference to meth. And it's become a worldwide epidemic. And I can tell you how I know that. And that's, I went to Indonesia in 2016 for a bodyboarding trip. And we were on our way from the airport of Java out to the ports to catch a boat to go off to the other islands. And we were driving through like hillbilly Indonesia, if you can say that. Like it's just like rural Indonesia, like way out in the sticks. We're driving through to get to these ports to go surfing. And there's a dude walking along the street selling pipes. And I was like, looked at the driver and I'm like, are you serious? And he's just like, yeah. I'm like, what? People are using meth all the way out here? And he's like, yeah, it's really, really big problem. I'm like, how? How? We're in the middle of nowhere. So yeah. It's not good, man. I've seen that do some really bad things to people, I must say. A couple of mates ended up in jail, so it's pretty sad. Anyway, let's get off that talk because that's depressing. You guys think market will dip more, stabilize, or go up from here? Oh, hourglass. Flip a coin. What rumors are going to come out? What news are going to come out? Look, the market is so heavily emotionally driven that I won't make too many decisions, I don't think, for the next 24 hours while the rest of the world wakes up through Asia and then through the rest of the world to see how they react to this. And I'll try and get a gauge on whether I think there's going to be further panic or not. Do I listen to Cliff High Fisher? No, I've never heard of him. Daniel Chippendale's back for more convo. How are you, mate? Oh, yeah, well, it's the same here, actually, Crypto Gnome. It's okay. We'll talk about it since we're onto the conversation. Look, it's important to shed light onto anyway. It is a problem. It is at epidemic status, and we're talking about ice use, meth use. And Crypto Gnome said the middle of nowhere is where meth is the worst here in the US. Yeah, it's really bad in rural Australia as well, and specifically Western Australia. Western Australia seems to have a really bad problem with it at the moment, like almost to the point where it's become socially acceptable. And that's a huge concern. Anyway, Harry Taylor said, damn right, Americans love them. We refuse to be slaves like China, Russia, or soon to be England citizens. Unarmed citizens as servants to the state. Well, Harry Taylor, we've been unarmed in Australia for quite some time. As a matter of fact, it was the Port Arthur massacre back when I was about 15 years old, maybe a little bit younger, where 38 people got killed in a massacre because we had firearms. Automatic, semi-automatic weapons. Guy went into a restaurant and just unloaded. We'd had 6 or 7 massacres before that time, and we've had 0 since. 0 since we banned guns. No massacres. So I got to say, I think it's been effective in Australia. Perhaps we're weird or something, but taking the guns away has definitely been effective in this country. Cranky, Pete in the house, haven't seen you for ages. Altcoin M said, what do you think would bounce back quickest in terms of coins? I think the quickest bounce back are going to come from the ones that have built the best community behind them, and also residual income coins. Because residual income coins, to me, are just a smart play. If you're getting dividends on a coin that you're holding, provided that coin is a good project and has thought about inflation and the stability of the coin long term, I think that's where the money's going to be made, and probably the quickest bounce backs, and the least to retrace during these big corrections. My hometown is Ohio and has one of the nation's highest death rates due to heroin and meth. That's really sad, CJ Bacon. On 18th of Feb, the Forex 6-month report in US comes out. The traders get their bonuses, then talk is the masses will be coming in. Nadia, I've heard that one, and thank you for bringing up that that opinion, because it's one that we do need to discuss. So Feb 18, the big traders, the Wall Street boys, the bankers, they get their bonuses. And there's a lot of talk about what they're going to do with that. And there's a lot of speculation that at least some of that money will come into crypto. I don't disagree. I think those bonuses are quite often reserved for high risk, high reward ventures, and crypto certainly ticks that box. So I think even the institutional money with their private money could be inclined to look at cryptocurrency, especially in a down market where they can potentially get good value. Interesting. Noddy, thanks for reminding everyone that comes up. Oh, yuck. All right, back to live chat. Cliff High is a linguistic predictor. Been around for years. He's predicted so many big things. No, I haven't heard of him, Noddy. Daniel Chippendale said Bitcoin will bounce back first, and that's a pretty good point, actually. It certainly could come through Bitcoin into the rest of the economy. It does tend to be a pattern of that. When we're talking about bull runs, it tends to be Bitcoin first and then into the alts. So that's a really interesting point. Just because it happened in the past doesn't mean it will happen in the future. But I think Daniel Chippendale's bang on the mark in terms of his assessment of what the markets have done previously. Chronicus said, Kevin said he wants me to stake his PIVX until the PIVX iPhone app comes out. Yeah, cool, man. Well, the thing is, though, Chronicus, you won't be able to stake on the apps anyway, man. Like we don't offer staking through the mobile devices. That's more for just like carrying out with you. You know, you keep your core wallet, and then so it won't actually stake on the mobile ones anyway. That might be something that's coming in the future, but it's not something I would look to do. See, my idea is I have my home bank account, which is on my computer, which stakes away, and then if I want to go out and spend my PIVX, I just load some onto my phone and out I go. We're still figuring out the best way to do that. Ruth Gara said, "Hi Fish, I'm having a heart attack today. What the heck happened to the coins? All in the shit." yeah, it's been a tough one, Ruth Gara. It really has. There's a lot of uncertainty about the future of exchanges in China, South Korea, and potentially even Japan. Noddy O said, Ruth Gary, you need some tokes. Yeah, just chill. That is honestly the best advice. I'm not saying go out and buy a bag of weed and smoke all that. I'm just saying, look, just take a chilled approach to it. Take a long-term view. Take a 3-year view to it at least. And that's not really even long-term, guys. It's pretty short-term, really. So, you know, it's a red day. It's not a good day for crypto, that's for sure. But Cliff High predictions are approximately 50 correct. Where do I find this Cliff High? What's he predict? Does he predict just like social events and I don't know, world events? Never heard of him. Anyway, Hoddle says, Nodio, I agree. I think that's the best advice through these big corrections, guys. You know what I always say as well, if you sell at a loss, you've written off the loss. At the moment, how many, like if you think about, okay, let's just think about PIVX, for example, because we've taken a big hit with the rest of the market. How many PIVX did you have yesterday? How many PIVX do you have today? So how much have you lost? Exactly. As long as you're holding the still still holding the same amount of coins or more because you've been able to trade down or trade through the way down, which I have. When they pump back to their all-time highs and potentially beyond that, you're going to be better positioned than you were before this correction or crash. I'm prepared to call it a crash. It's too big a correction for me to just go, oh no, it's just a speed bump. It's a significant amount of money that's come out of the economy in the last 48 hours, and we need to recognise that. Yeah, you only lose if you sell though. That's exactly right, baby junkie. Yep, haven't lost anything until you've sold. Daniel Chippendale, absolutely right. Now you've got to realise the other side of that equation as well. Like I've been telling you for weeks and months now, you haven't realised your profit. You haven't made shit until you've sold either. So it's important to realise your profit as well. But yeah, panic selling in a downturn market is more than likely going to cost you money, or at least potential profits. Oh, crypto gnome, tell me about it, man. It's not easy. We're working hard, dude. Like I've put some pretty cool proposals through to exchanges. What I see as pretty cool proposals for PIVX. I have. Like I can tell you that. I'm not telling you that any of them have accepted them because they haven't. But I've put some really cool proposals through to them to say, hey, how about we run this promotion and for PIVX getting added to the exchange, and they're really focused on how much BTC they can get for it at the moment, mate, to be honest. So we may have to wait it out a little bit until the decentralized exchanges become a bit more prominent, but we'll see what happens, man. We've got an exchange team working hard on that. As Elysium Core will tell you, who was in the house, and he says, wee, PIVX yard sale. Yeah, man, I picked up some more PIV this morning, working on that long-term goal for my masternode, dude. That's what I want. Has been for 8 months or however long it's been since I've been working there now. So yeah, I picked up a little bit more this morning. It's a good opportunity for me. People saying that they lose a lot of USD. What is USD? Anyone can help me? Yeah, see, Xiao's not worried. He's worried about the coins that he's accumulating for a long-term goal. Ethercept said, fish go catching waves, man. It is pumping on the Gold Coast, and I'm going to take that advice. Just going to finish up the comments, and I will actually just check out soon. Just YouTube search him. That's okay. Yeah, pro crypto hates banks and institutions. That's that High, whatever his name is. Well, Cliff High. That's right. Cliff predicted Trump. Oh no, and Bender Arche. Wow. People say, what else we got? Also, the Chinese Lunar or whatever is a massive holiday. A lot of money being moved out due to that. Dave at Chippendale, they've got Chinese New Year coming up. We've spoken about on this show before a tradition that they have, which is the red envelope. I don't know what it's called. Red envelope something. They chuck money in a red envelope and give it to each other. So perhaps that could work. That could work in our favour as well. So we've got those two events to look out for if the Chinese can actually get their money in. You got China with the red envelope day, and then you've got the financial sectors in the US getting their bonuses. Why does alcohol promote violence? It is because people are tapping into ancient fallen warriors who often would drink together. Is this why it's called spirits? That's interesting. I can tell you one thing. I know it's a bit of a stereotype, but the rum drinkers were the worst when I was back in the nightclubs. Like if someone came up and ordered a Bundy rum, I was like, oh no, got to keep an eye on this guy. Yeah, don't panic sell. No, you're right, Ruth. Floyd said, leave the charts alone. Let shit settle and use this time to find good ICOs. Yeah, or go and do something. Life can't all be about crypto, guys. Go and have a surf. Go out and speak to your neighbor. Do whatever. Doesn't really matter. Don't stress about it. Ethercept said, I'm down 5 Lambos at the moment. You don't cross me as the sort of guy who's going to buy 5 Lambos, Ethercept. I could be wrong, but Crypto Gnome, same with YouTube channel. It's good to see Cranky Pete back in the house. I haven't seen Pete in a while. He's been super busy. We had a quick chat up on Discord not so long ago, and he said, I've been flat out fish. Oh, Elysium Core, that's going to be sick. That's a huge thing for the 2018 roadmap. We went through it on the show a couple of days ago, the whole roadmap. Not the whole roadmap, just the top 15. You know, there's like 36 developments, I think, already scheduled. Just the top 15 we went through on the show the other day. And one of the things that I said is just super impressive is going to be, you know, the in-wallet DEX exchange, the PIVX decentralized exchange. It's going to be brilliant. Can't wait for it. I need to find out how that's going to work in terms of, is there an ICO for that? Because I want in for sure. BTC Miami, let's go, says Joe Smos. PIVX will have a booth at BTC Miami. Oh, that's sick. I didn't know that. Or did I? I was watching Brian's stream the other day. Maybe I did see that. Guys, I mean, I'm subscribed to a couple of PIVX channels too. If you want to learn more about PIVX, you got PIVX Express, which is Brian Snappy Snap, who does a lot of the updates and community building for PIVX, kind of the face of PIVX really. And also PIVX Class, which is Fused Helios, doing some stuff over there teaching about cryptocurrency and how to buy PIVX and what PIVX is about and all that sort of stuff. So if you do want to check out some good PIVX videos, guys, I am subscribed to both those channels, so you can go and check them out. SB said USD equals US dollar. Yeah, Joe is just mucking around. Don't matchboxes have Lambos and Ferraris? Yep, exactly. I got my Ferrari. I'll show you. My Ferrari, I've been, you know, that electric skatey I've got, I've just been riding that full stop. I literally do not use petrol anymore. Gas for those of you in the States. I don't use it anymore because I'm just using my electric skateboard everywhere I go now. It's the best. Simon GTA said, lost potential profits equivalent to half my student loan in the last 3 days, but fuck it. Simon GTA, the younger you are, the more you can afford to take those risks. Simple as that, man. So, yeah, it's going to hurt, but this is why we don't invest more than we can afford to lose. And you've also got to remember something that I always say, that lost profit is not a loss. So if you are up on some investments and you feel like there could be further uncertainty, you're welcome to take a little bit of profit off the table. It's much easier to sell out on the run up, though, than it is on the way back down. You tend to get better prices. So next time there's a bull run, guys, just be responsible. Take a learning experience from this and say, right, next time there's a bull run, I've got my strategy. Okay, I'm going to take some out here, I'm going to take some out here. Of course, adjusting that all the time for the news coming out, but always have your strategy pre-prepared. Nadio said most can't afford petrol after last night, Fisher. Well, that's why I paid my electricity bill, man, because they can't. Then they don't shut off my electricity, which means I can just power up my skatey and I can go everywhere I want. All right, Floyd, I'm gonna do. You know what I'm gonna do, dude? I got this funniest thing I want to do. Floyd's asked me to do a report from the skateboard. I got something even better than that I'm planning. I'm gonna go out and buy a couple of cheap phones because I can't be bothered waiting for iOS release because I'm impatient. So I'm going to go buy a couple of cheap smartphones so I can do some transfers out and about. Hint, hint, one of them is going to be involving my electric skateboard. So, tour of D-Bar? Yeah, man, I can give you a tour of D-Bar. It's my home. Oh, Notio, don't you make assurances like that. Notio said, Packcoin is safe. It won't go down anymore. No one can tell. You can join Unity? I don't know what that means, Elysium Core. Sorry if I missed something. I can do that from time to time. Ethercept, cheers, Fish. G'day, mate. Safe surfing, real safe. I need you to hunt dragons later. Yeah, I got it, bro. I'll message you when I'm back. I'm gonna go have a quick surf and clear the head. Always helps me getting in the water. And since it's like pumping out there, 6 to 8 foot bombs coming through, I'm gonna go and have a go at that. But yeah, I'll give you a message when I get back. And for the rest of you, thanks for tuning in for an excellent cryptocurrency conversation and discussion on a bloody old day in the market. Guys, if you are looking to invest on these lows, please still only afford what you can invest, what you can afford to lose. Don't expect the market to kick back overnight, but be happy. It's the best way not to worry about what's happening in the market. Cool. We'll do a Elysium call. I'll send you a message over there today, man. I'm just going to cruise for a surf and then I'll get onto Discord, so I'll be a few hours. Like and subscribe, says Joe. Thanks. Yeah, great chat, SB. Thanks a lot. Catch you guys soon. Fish out. Bye.